Craig's back from the Concord Food Co-op. How are you?
Oh, doing great.
Excellent. Welcome to October.
Yeah,
I know.
Came quick, huh?
So, just out of curiosity, before we move to our topic of the day, on the co-op, what's changing for offerings now that we're into fall as opposed to summer?
Well, I guess as you walk in, the first thing you're in is the produce, and so you're getting all the squashes, and so the produce department is changing, bringing in a lot of items, and they're already starting to stock up and start to bring in the items for Thanksgiving. So
wow,
people will start to actually start stockpiling them. And
are there greenhouses around that you have relationships with where you can still get greens throughout the year?
Yes,
Okay.
Definitely so. The primary one is right in Canterbury.
Okay,
that's right. Yep.
Because the squashes are nice, but to have some good fresh greens in the winter, that's paradise.
Yeah. Everybody's they're stringing out the summer months a little bit more with their greenhouses for sure.
Are you a squash fan?
I like squash. My wife doesn't, so I don't get to eat squash much.
I thank you very much. I'm not the orange vegetable guy. I'm cursed in my family because of it. Everybody loves it.
Or just cube it upside down, or hollow it out upside down. Bake it a little bit.
I do that with my
acorns. Scoop it out, a little maple
Yep.
syrup.
People don't like the
Lord.
texture. I like
love
the
it.
texture.
Yeah.
No, it's again, I don't know why.
Turkey bucks in full swing.
Turkey bucks in full swing, and Friday. What was Friday traditionally before COVID? What was Friday on the hot bar?
Oh, it was sticky chicken.
Sticky chicken.
Right.
So guess what's on the hot bar today?
No way.
Sticky chicken, mac and cheese, and it's to go. So
yes.
they will be all prepackaged, but they're trying to reintroduce a lot of the favorites. So they're trying to bring out several hot meals that you can take for lunch and your dinner. So today, sticky chicken mac and cheese is back.
Look at the weather outside.
That's awesome.
Comfort food day.
No,
It screams
that's
comfort
perfect.
food. Oh, that's perfect.
We are returning to normal. I'm so happy.
And who is rounded up?
This month is Planned Parenthood.
Look at that, Kim. Huh? You didn't have to ask you.
No, and
wasn't a big fancy name.
Last month was Blue Ocean Society
Right.
for Marine Conservation. They're receiving a check for $2,600.
Wow.
The total for rounded up at the register since last April is that was in April ago, so a year and a half now. $62,528.
That's amazing.
62,000,
And we're
has
talking
been raised.
pennies, nickels, dimes.
Yeah,
Right.
I know.
Wow.
A little at a time, but it adds up.
Yeah.
And boy, those checks even more valuable now with everything having been shut down, nonprofits not getting their usual revenue. Right. So that's huge.
Yeah,
It's
we
wonderful.
always receive just a wonderful thank you because it is very important, these funds that they're receiving. So.
Every dollar. That's great.
It was fun last week. Your guest came in from New York talking about homeless. Hope
Yes.
she had a good time.
Oh yeah. She loves New Hampshire so much she's opted to stay 6 more months.
Oh, wow.
Well, there you go.
Nice life.
Well, maybe we can chat again.
Oh yeah.
Especially if they win the MacArthur Award.
Oh, yeah.
What was that, 100 million?
Fellowship, yeah, I know.
100 million.
That would help.
Man, oh,
That
man.
would help a lot of people.
All right, we're not going to talk homelessness today. We're going to talk inflammation, epigenetics. Shut up. I can do this.
All right.
And lifestyle choices. They are all interrelated. Yeah. And if you're saying, Peter, how are they all interrelated? Well, I don't know. But Dr. Cindy Croft and Dr. Pam Herring do. Yeah. Tag, you're it.
Yeah.
Dr. Cindy Croft, a wellness-focused family physician, helping people improve their overall health and those with chronic disease by using functional and integrative medicine. Can be reached at drcindycroft.com. And that's Cindy with an I, not a Y. Good morning, Cindy. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. Nice to be here.
You have no inflammation. You have no lifestyle issues. You're
We
all
all
good.
have inflammation.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, all right. And
especially the older I feel I get.
Dr. Pamela Herring, back with us, specializing in classic homeopathy and functional medicine. Been in Concord, had an office for over 30 years, so she's no stranger to town. Instrumental in the process of licensing naturopaths as primary care doctors way back in 1995. Dr. Herring can be reached at drpamelaherring@gmail.com or calling 491-7321. Pamela, good to have you back.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.
So inflammation, we talking environmental inflammation, lack of exercise inflammation. I really shouldn't have eaten that burrito inflammation. Which one are we talking about?
Bingo.
Well, I'll just define for everybody because it can be really a complicated thing, but pretty much the simplicity of it is there's a balance every moment of the day between things in our body that are called oxidants, and then there's another compound called the opposite, antioxidants. And so it's kind of like the seesaw balance in the body that's affected based on the milieu of everything in our day. So things that we do to ourselves, like smoking, drinking, pollution, environmental toxic exposures, highly processed foods, and then there's things, and including stress, exposure to different microbes and things like that, and basically that seesaw balance, or that teeter-totter balance, is constantly causing this different chemical processes in the body, which then can affect the genes that kind of swim around in that. One time, at one conference, I remember hearing a person put it really nicely, that our genes swim in the broth that we eat. And I really like that expression because it kind of gives you an idea of, if something's swimming in something, you kind of, it's something I can maybe change what I'm swimming in. And then that really is what changes our genes. So sometimes people freak out and they're doing all these very expensive genetic evaluations, and they're not kind of going back to the simplicity of things. It's not really about what your genes that you have. It's really about what you're doing to your day, to your body every day that affects how your genes function. And then you have a lot of choice. And so learning about how to do those things can really affect how your genes decide to work. And the genes are what control your body's making proteins that make different inflammatory markers. And some people are really come in to see me, and they're really smart. They know some of the fancy words like cytokines and interleukins and white blood cells. There's a T helper 1 and T helper 2 ratio that can get out of whack based on your inflammation and different kinds of enzymes.
Who the hell walks around and says that?
People get sick and they see people and they see so many different people and they get frustrated. They're not feeling better. So you'd be surprised. There's a lot of people that are savvy, go out and read a lot, and so I appreciate that. But talking about a little bit about this and understanding what oxidation and antioxidants are and causing inflammation can be really, really simple, and it helps people get control about these things that I mentioned.
So has the internet been a help or a hindrance for people out there self-diagnosing?
Well, it's a pro and a con, like everything. I really appreciate people enthusiastic of wanting to learn because they want to feel better. It was beautiful. I saw yesterday a 92-year-old gentleman, brand new, wanting to come in and help his health. So it's wonderful when people get on, and he's on the internet. And so, and then it's also dangerous because some people walk in and they say, I think I have this, and so I listen, and then like, okay, let's go back and just tell me how you're feeling, because a lot of how you feel is basically things that we do to ourselves. And so I really like to steer to a whole foods diet, learning how to control your stress. And then speaking about COVID, it's really important at this time, because our immune system is in our gut, and a lot of it is in the gut. And how we feel and things that we eat is all controlling our expression of our genes and the gut bugs in our gut, and that's affecting our immune system, which right now, we all can learn a little bit about going into this season to hopefully give our bodies the best ability to fight infection and keep chronic disease processes from developing or slowing down. And simply changing to a whole foods diet, that inflammation, which is perceived in our body as pain, can really change just in 3 days when people say, oh my gosh, I'm going to eat this instead of this. And a lot of it is just getting rid of the simple sugars and simple carbs and understanding what those are and moving to a whole foods. And that just down-regulates all these inflammatory markers and pathways and makes you feel better.
Yeah, but the stuff that tastes good that I like isn't good for me. Come on.
A lot of people say that, but then I say, you know what? There's a lot of food out there. We all just get into these patterns and ruts and convenience, and we put our jobs and our days and just fast food, like having a microwave, just we kind of get out of the way of how our parents grew up and how our grandparents grew up.
Right.
And so it was great with this 92-year-old, who's he told me what he's eating, and I said, "How did you eat when you were growing up?" And your parents. I certainly know they were not eating like what we've got exposed in our grocery stores now.
Yeah.
So,
except for the Concord Food Co-op.
Exactly.
Sorry, I just wanted to get that in there. That's okay.
Kim, give him a couple turkey bucks. Dr. Croft, a moment ago, were you talking about epigenetics? Was that part of the definition? I went online to look at it and I didn't understand it. So if one of you could please explain epigenetics to me that I can understand.
Yeah, Pam, do you want to do that?
Sure. So epigenetics is the study of changes in gene expression. So we all have genes that we've inherited. Most people think you can't change your genes, you're stuck with whatever. But those genes can be altered depending on your lifestyle. So if you're eating a lot of junk food and, not exercising and all that, your genes get tweaked. Some of them. You can't change your eye color, of course, and certain things you can't change, but the telomeres on the genes, which are the little tails on the genes, can break off. And the breakage of those telomeres is an indication of our aging, of how much we're aging at whatever age we are. So we'll see those telomeres breaking off in 40-year-olds or 50-year-olds. And, the more those are broken, the less, healthy we are.
Mm-hmm.
So
and I'll just add to that.
Those genes.
All right,
the
Pam.
good news is we can.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I just wanted to follow up with Pamela for a second. So, we all have seen people who are 40 who look 20, and some of them look 80. So, is that genetically predisposed that they're going to age well or badly, or is that something that we can determine by the way we live?
It's a little bit of both, but we can certainly determine how fast we age. We can slow it down, we can speed it up. And fruits and vegetables, there are studies that show that fruits and vegetables will repair those telomeres, will help your genes to repair.
There you go.
That's the good news.
And by the way, I want to mention last night I had a vegetable stir fry with Yukon Gold potatoes, green beans, red peppers, green peppers, summer squash, and spinach. That was my stir fry.
Wow.
There you go.
He's looking much younger today, too.
Yeah, I feel 22 this morning. I don't know why.
You are showing your interleukin. Yes, you are.
But see, but all kidding aside, I'm one of these people. I love vegetables. Why are vegetables such a hard sell for some people to incorporate into their diet?
I think.
That's a good question. Maybe it's from when the kids are little and the old way we used to feed kids when they're started at 6 months and they come in and we'd give them advice. Start with the fruits.
Yeah.
And then it develops that sweet, and then they forget it. They don't want the veggies, and then it becomes this fight with families, and they just have this life of, busyness and work and having to get the kid to eat something. And donuts are a lot easier, and boxed cereal's a lot easier than to...
Yeah. Wow. Well, good point.
So who knows, but that's probably part of it, just developing that taste when they're littles, because I'm always amazed at how some Asian kids can just tolerate, hot stuff, and they're eating kimchi and fermented stuff when they're little and forget it. It's,
But that's why they've been having it all along.
Right.
Yeah, they've been having it all along. So I think that's part of it. But yeah, I think just keeping it simple. With what Pam said, it's just I really like that statement. So it's kind of stuck in my head that I learned at a conference of, it's what our genes are swimming in every day.
Yeah.
And that's really controlling how they work and function. So it truly does make a difference in our and you can seriously change how your genes are changing within a handful of days on what you choose to do to yourself. And the big huge diseases that that plague our country and our healthcare system, heart disease, COPD, glucose toxicity, which is diabetes, fatty liver, all of these things. Now they're finding, and this has been research for a couple decades, that it's the epigenetic regulation of these genes that's affecting how these disease processes are starting.
Great.
And so if we can work on helping to change the palates of kids and families, then that's just, that's really going to help everybody and help our healthcare system and help you get rid of inflammation or at least control it. You're not going to get rid of it. You're going to help, lower it, and you're going to feel better. You won't have pain, and you won't have to take, anti-inflammatories that hurt the gut and are temporary relievers. And so people can learn that food can really be your medicine and lower this inflammatory cascade that happens.
All right. Dr. Croft, Dr. Herring, we have to take a break because I got a lot of stuff swimming around in my brain right now.
In your broth.
In my broth upstairs, in the gray matter. So we'll take a break and we'll be back with more right after this.
I do have a question about inflammation. To what degree?
You got it?
Yes.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
To what degree
Pick one.
do individuals just believe it's aches and pains of life versus inflammation that can be treated or addressed?
Good question.
Nice.
Yeah. Pamela, Cindy?
Pam, you want to speak on it? I can go for it, Pam, if you like. I can help, but go ahead.
Go ahead, Pam. That's you, Pam.
Oh, okay. I was going to say many people just expect that as they get older they will have aches and pains, but that is not necessarily the case. It depends on how much inflammation you have, and it is reversible with, just basically the things that we've already talked about, diet and lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. And people do get in the habit of popping, ibuprofens like candy, and they really can break out of that habit.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Like Cindy said, it only takes a few days to see a difference. We used to run a 3-week cleanse detox program at my clinic, and in those 3 weeks we saw amazing changes in people. Their level of health improved tremendously. Symptoms of asthma, symptoms of gut problems, diarrheas and things like that would clear up, and people felt better. Their joint pain went away. Seriously, it taught me how incredibly important diet is for us,
Cindy,
and how significant a change it can make.
Cindy, am I doing more damage to myself by masking the inflammation? So, my gut's hurting, so I drink some Mylanta.
Right.
Okay, pain gone. Yay, problem solved. Am I really doing myself more harm than good?
That's right. In fact, I had a gentleman the other day, and he asked me about that, and I said, if you mask pain, then it's like this micro or this temporary mask where it's like, oh, great, it's gone for a minute. Now I can hurry up and go and do this, and this, and underneath you still have that kind of chemical chaos that's happening. And so just think about what the word means, inflammation. And so sometimes I will liken it to, people know what an external inflammation is on their body, like a big bruise. Right, or a sprained ankle. That's inflammation, and then they're like, okay, that hurts. They won't touch it, or if they touch it, it hurts. So when your body is inflamed, then you've got dampness and phlegm, and you've got poor circulation, and you've got this, bed of goop. And so when that's happening inside, it contributes to stagnation, and people feel heavy. They feel the pain because of the extra fluid. There's poor circulation, so your body can't heal it. Just like a bruise is this big, long process of 2 or 3, 4 weeks to gradually heal, depending on the size of that bruise. And if you chronically smoke, or if you chronically eat processed foods, or chronically keep doing these things, you've got this background low-grade inflammatory process that's really just aging yourself and contributing to all these chronic problems and your pain. So sometimes when people come in pain, I'll say, okay, what'd you eat yesterday? What'd you eat last night? And, you'd be surprised. You have a big plate of French fries, you're going to hurt for a week. Potatoes are a simple carb, and it's a mainstay of hamburgers and French fries in our country. But so we kind of do it to ourselves. But if you learn about like what you have for your stir fry, if you have some fancy words that are in these foods that people can learn. When you have high sulfur compounds in all the cruciferous vegetables, those are like super veggies that help scavenge all that inflammation, or beta-carotenes in all those orange and yellow foods and red foods, and catechins in green teas, and lycopenes in the tomatoes, and alpha lipoic acid, and you can go on and on, but it's that's what inflammation basically is.
See, Cindy, you can go on and on. All I know is, and I was taught this a long time ago, the more color I have on my
plate.
Dinner, in my plate, the better off I am. So I've got carrots, and I've got peppers, and I've got this, and a yellow and a green. Okay, this one's in niacin, this one's beta carotene. I don't know. I just know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. It looks good, tastes good. Yay me.
So I'll give you a piece of homework, and this is often one I give my patients.
I hate homework. Okay.
Do we have to go to a commercial?
Yeah. Oh, we're out of time. All right, fine.
No, you have time, Cindy.
If you want to be in control of how you feel and your inflammation, a nice homework piece is to write down all the veggies that you eat in a day. Okay, in a week. Write them all down in the week, and then at the end of that week, you tally up how many different veggies you eat. And the goal is you want to hit about 30. And so if you can get a base, and I've had people tell me 0. The lowest person I've ever had was 0.
Yeah.
And then you can gradually work up to aiming for that 30 by adding 1 or 2 new veggies at the Concord Co-op or other, and kind of get up
more
to
turkey bucks heading out your way.
Wow. Now, and I hate to ask, but I will. If somebody buys a bag of frozen peas, does that count?
As long as they're not swimming in some kind of, salt and all that kind of sauces that a lot of them come in.
Right.
But sure, sometimes the fresh frozen is better than sometimes the fresh stuff when you look at it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
But again, go simple, no sauces, no additives, none of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
Whole food.
Wow. And stress, I mean, that could take multiple shows to get that out of your life, to deal with it.
You're not going to ever get it out of your life. It's going to just have to be, again, like kind of what Pam said. You just kind of have to accept you're going to have this, because it's more like a teeter-totter, and you want to be on the middle. And so stress is, like you said, we could talk for hours, and it's a perception. It's a perception of what you have in front of you, and your mind chatter and all of that. So, trying to be more in the present moment, enjoying what you're doing and doing the best that you can do at what you're doing in that moment is kind of the better place to just start at, and not keep it simple.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to put in another plug for Concord Food Co-op so you can get more turkey bucks while you're at it? You're doing good.
Variety. That's one thing I would love for the co-op, and something that's on my bucket list, and I just need 5 of me. But the diversity of the vegetables, because I'm one of those ones that will go to 5 different stores and try to get my 30 every week. And so if I don't have variety, I'm frustrated. And a lot of my patients who now are at that point, getting in the high 20s, they're telling me the same thing. So it is on my bucket list. I want to have a meeting like at NOFA or something with these farmers and say, hey, look, can we just get some different kinds of cabbage instead of just the one white and the Napa and the one purple, and the same type of, 2 radishes, the same kind of, we need diversity because nutrient, nutrition comes in from a wide exposure to what we can get. And we get one kind of spinach. We get, so we just need more biodiversity and then more nutrient content, which is another show we can do because the nutrient content of what we're eating has just plummeted over the last, 50, 100 years.
I hear what you're saying about the variety, but, okay, cabbage. You've got red cabbage, you've got green cabbage, you've got Savoy, but you start bringing in other stuff. If it doesn't sell, the store has now given up shelf space to a product that doesn't sell. The farmer's not making money, so they're investing in the stuff that does move.
Right.
That's where their profitability comes from.
Cindy, it comes with, the other side with the education, as you're suggesting,
exactly.
Because you put a vegetable on the shelf that no one's familiar with, they don't know how to prepare it, They don't know how to cook it, and they won't buy it. So even something as simple as
kohlrabi.
Even leeks as an example. People are like, what do I do with this thing?
I like leeks. Kohlrabi I can't figure out.
It needs to be a wide educational thing, and so, I'm doing it, patient by patient, and it would be great to have a bigger campaign, and maybe the co-op could do something about that. And there's all these farmers and CSAs and whatnot. But yeah, that's really to affect our long-term health. We need more biodiversity and nutrient exposures to different things, and so.
All right. We'll do that for another show. Dr. Cindy Croft, Dr. Pamela Herring. Thank you both. Greg,
thank you.
Greg, thank you very much.
Welcome.
Turkey Bucks at Concord Food Co-op. Get down there, concordfoodcoop.coop. Check it out.
If you're in the mood for real food, it's Concord Food Co-op.